Greetings, everyone. Today I will be sharing how Amplify can be used to teach inequalities in seventh grade math. I personally like this activity. We always have time where during the school year I'd be like, y'all remember we talked about Shira? And they'd be like, yeah, Shira the Sheep. So Amplify, it provides interactive lessons that help students develop conceptual understanding before moving into procedural fluency and problem solving. The lesson I selected is the Shira the Sheep, and it focuses on solving and interpreting inequalities while allowing students to still explore and navigate through the math relationships through discussion, visualization, and immediate feedback. So this lesson perfectly aligns with the Georgia standard that we have, 7 PAR 4, because students are solving and interpreting inequalities in meaningful context instead of simply just memorizing the procedures that go along with solving inequalities. Students learn that an inequality represents a range of possible solutions rather than just one answer. That is the difference between the inequality sign and the equal sign. They must understand what each inequality symbol means and explain why different values satisfy the inequality. This conceptual understanding prepares students to solve more complex algebraic problems in the 8th grade and moving on to high school when they take Algebra 1. So, a reason that I very much enjoy using Amplify is because students immediately begin exploring mathematics instead of just copying notes. Students can drag points on a number line, test solutions, and observe how changing values affect an inequality in this specific lesson in particular. They begin noticing patterns naturally, which makes later procedures much easier to understand. Amplify Classroom supports the natural progression of learning. Students first understand what an inequality means before learning procedures. Once students recognize that inequalities represent many possible solutions, they become more successful in solving and graphing them on the inequality number line. The technology allows students to experiment with different values instead of just simply following one set of rules. So it allows them to have a moment where they bump their head a little bit and be able to be like, okay, well, there was a piece of grass that wasn't ate. Why? And then they have to solve through why. There are some wonderful benefits of Amplify. You can have the students pop up as their name as they're sharing. I find that that is a little bit more distracting because you do have those some kids who just type stuff and think I can't see it. So I put them under anonymous, and then if they do still try to type something that's crazy, I let them know, hey, I can see you still, although your name's not coming up. But Amplify, it also lets you pause the lesson to discuss work and compare different strategies. So a kid may have done it another way. A kid may have done it in a way that they weren't fully understanding. So you're able to talk about that, and they're able to learn from one another and work on their math communication. They have several different discussion things that they can do as well. These strategies also support several standards for mathematical practice, especially making sense of problems and constructing arguments along with attending to precision. Immediate feedback is one of the biggest advantages of Amplify. Instead of waiting until homework is graded, students know immediately whether their thinking is correct. As teachers, we can also identify misconceptions as they happen and provide support before students continue practicing incorrect procedures. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics recommends using technology to deepen students' mathematical understanding rather than simply speeding up calculations. Amplify Classroom supports this recommendation because students actively explore math ideas while teachers monitor student thinking in real time. Amplify also promotes math discourse, which research identifies as an essential component of effective math instruction. Overall, Amplify Classroom is an excellent tool for teaching inequalities or any math topic because it move students beyond memorizing procedures. That's the biggest thing that is a takeaway when it comes to Amplify. Students are able to explore the concepts, explain their reasoning, and receive immediate feedback while teachers monitor understanding throughout the lesson. From a personal point of view, I have found that students are much more confident solving inequalities after using Amplify's interactive lessons because they understand what the solutions actually represent instead of just following the steps to get the problem to get a correct answer.